everyone. I hope that you're still excited at the end of the day because I know it's very hot in the room. My story begins on September the 29th, a few years ago. And I remember this day because of two reasons. First, this is my mom's birthday. And second, this particular day is the day that I pitched a new idea to my CEO. And he's known me for 4 years as international events manager, but that day, I need to convince him first that we could go from making great video games into, why not, also making great live shows. And I need to convince him as well that I'm the right person to do it. So I will introduce myself again because that's part of my pitch. My name is Hinde Daoui. I'm live entertainment producer of Ubisoft since that special day. And as you can hear, the pitch has worked. So the story ends, you can have a break, thank you guys, and see you soon. No, like in any story, there are some challenges and some hurdles. And I have lived the most incredible and exciting story of my professional life, and I'm going to share it with you today. And I'm going to share that with you because I'm pretty sure that you will be able to recognize yourself in that story, and I hope it will uplift you. Back to that day, I meet my CEO and I start with the why. And I explained to him that both video games and live entertainment create immersive and interactive experiences, but with different approaches. And I'm pretty sure that if we combine both, we can revolutionize entertainment. And I show him a mood video of Just Dance, what it could be as a live show, like a big interactive party. For those who don't know Just Dance, it's the _1 music video game franchise of all time. And the principle is very simple. You dance in front of your screen, following the moves of a virtual coach. And it's more than that. It brings people together through the universal language of dance. And it has the potential to be an amazing show. There is great music, super visuals, amazing choreographies and characters and costumes with a very fun tone. At the end of the meeting, which will last 2 hours instead of 1, my CEO tells me, I'm very interested in your idea and I want you to go further and explore this Just Dance Live idea. Just at that moment, this is how I feel. There's nothing I fear. I feel like on top of the world. And between that day and the day that the concept will be finally approved, there will be a few months. And during that time, I will start by going on the ground and look at all the different live experiences, the trends. I will try Sleep No More, Secret Cinema. And the great news is that people are willing to be more and more actors of their experience and less spectators, which is great for me coming from video games. I will surround myself as well with a consultant from the live entertainment industry to confront my ideas and be sure that I'm going in the right direction. And as any entrepreneur, I will become very friend with legal and financial teams. And I will work hand in hand with the Just Dance team. We will do workshops with the creative director, Alkis. And we will work on the pillars of what Just Dance could be on stage. And we all agree on the fact that if we combine the codes of gaming, the codes of party with a fun tone, we can have something cool. And so we will test the idea during workshops and focus groups with teenagers, who are the core target in Paris. And the answers that we got are unanimously positive. So you can imagine that I arrive at a very high level of confidence when I meet with my CEO again. And this is the moment I do my huge false start. I come with him with a solution and I say, okay, so I found this creative agency in France. They're willing to work with us. They're willing to co-invest with us and create something like a fair around Just Dance and pop culture. And we will start small, like any artist in development, in 1,500-seat theaters in provincial cities in France. And then we will go to Paris, bigger venues, and then the world. He looks at me and is like, the product is not clear, the consumer journey is not clear, and you're not ambitious enough. And where's the breakthrough? Okay, so, and he ends by saying, I want you to work on the concept with creatives from this company. And if you think Just Dance, you need to think big and need to think the world right from the beginning. Paris, London, New York, not provincial cities from France and then Paris and then the world. Okay, so I will rework on my copy and I will look at what makes live and music festivals so huge. And I see that the common thread is that they invite you into another world, an escape. So I will work on creating an escape into the world of Just Dance. And you want me to go big? I will go big. And I will work with the best in the industry, the creatives. I will recruit Kim Gavin, who is the creative director of the London 2012 Olympics closing ceremony. And I will also work with Stu Fish Design, who designs stages for artists like Madonna, the Rolling Stones, or Beyoncé at Coachella. And so here I am. After a few months, we show him a concept that we developed with the Just Dance team, and he approves it. I get the green light. In a few words, what is the concept? Is, as I was saying, an invitation into the world of Just Dance with different steps. So first, you enter the Get Ready for It zone, where you can put some makeup on, you can customize your costume, and you can get pumped on a community stage with all the questions and trivias about Just Dance. Then you enter the red carpet, as if you were the star of the show, and you are welcomed by the characters of Just Dance live. And then you enter the main area, where you have multiple stages so that you feel surrounded by the world of Just Dance. You have a cast of amazing dancers, costume, projection, and then at the end of the show, there is a moment when you can become the star because you can play, you can score with Just Dance Now, the app, and you can shine. And so at the end of this approval, my CEO tells me that now it's time for me to find investors, because as it's a new business for us, we prefer to combine our strengths with people from this industry and be sure that we're entering it at the right level. So let's go and finding investors on a new journey that I guess, guys, you all know when you work in startups. And so what is great is that when you work with big names in the industry, creative, marketing, they open you the doors to many people at the right level of discussion. And so I'm super happy because I meet with many different promoters from Europe, from Australia, from the US, and I'm excited because I have a great concept. But the journey will be more like this. I will go from ups to downs, hopes to disillusions, from I want to invest in a project because I really believe in it, to I'm sorry, I need to withdraw my proposition, we have other priorities. I will go from let's work on a business model together to this business model is very risky, to total silence. And so, all in all, the common answer that I get from everyone is, it's great, it's never been done before. It's never been done before, it's risky. And so, we decide with the production and the creative team to run a test in France with 300 fans from Just Dance so that we can see how people react to the concept and at the same time convince potential promoters and investors to come on board. And so here we are at the test with the red carpet, that's me on the left in yellow, and with people dancing and having fun. And at the end of the test, we have a lot of learnings, like people love to have multiple stages around them so that they can run from one action to the other. They love the dancers and the costumes. And there is one big learning that I have, which is all the gamification part coming from our own business. They don't care. They don't care about scoring, about who is the best. All they care is about belonging all together and having fun together, all generations combined. And so on that day, we will decide to remove all the gamification aspect of the show and stay true to the actual show and the performance. And so that's a learning that I want to share with you guys, is that when you work on a brand and you go from one media to another, it's essential to embrace the rules and the logics of this new world. For instance, I went to London and I saw the Harry Potter play, and I loved it because I really felt like Harry Potter was meant to be a play. At the end of this test, we have French promoters on site who are super excited and say, that's great, but you don't need to go higher in terms of value of production. You see, people are having fun. But I'm like torn between being ambitious, as I've been briefed from the beginning, and being humble because I don't come from this business. And at that moment, I will decide to stay true to ambition until the end. Maybe too much, we'll see. And when we show videos of this test to American promoters, they all tell us, oh, that's fantastic, that's great, that's awesome, but it's in France. So if you want to do this in the US, you need to have a proof of concept in the US. And so that's how I feel after a few months. I'm kind of desperate because we have a great concept, great feedback, and no investors on board. So at that moment, I really feel like my CEO will say, thank you for trying, but no thank you. And a few days after, my manager comes back to me and she says, okay, so he wants us to go all the way, do the pilot tour, and if we cannot have partners, fine, let's do it ourselves. That's how I feel at that moment. I'm torn between, yeah, excited, it's gonna happen, and oh, I've never done that. Let's jump in the unknown. And so let's embark into the trip from theory land to reality land. So with the creative team, the marketing agency that I work with, we have a few months to put a show together. And so the first question is where? Where shall we start? The US, obviously, because we need a proof of concept. Which cities? So we will look into the data of Just Dance to see what cities make the most sense, and we will also look at where the pop stars tour in the US. And so we will decide to go to East Coast, West Coast, and Center, Miami, Chicago, Houston, and Los Angeles. And we will go in March 2018 for a 4-week back-to-back tour. And in each city, we will have 5 shows from Thursday to Sunday to try all the different time slots and see how people can react. And each venue will have a particular configuration so we can see how people interact with the set, depending on the configuration. And so now that I have the timing and the where, I launch everything. The creative, the production, of course, the branding, the ticketing strategy, the merchandising, the sponsoring. And the day we enter into reality land is the day that we open our pre-sales for the fans, mid-October 2017. Yes, I love dates. For 24 hours, I will hold my breath. The day after, I look at the numbers, and the show is not sold out. And the takeoff will be pretty slow until the tour. So you can imagine my level of stress, because at the same time, I have a kick-ass team doing an amazing show, and myself struggling to make people understand what they can expect from the experience, because it's new, we don't have images, and we're trying to find different ways of reaching out to the audience with luck, but not that much. And so here I am in Miami, a few days before the tour starts. Miami will be the toughest week, because this is the week of the first everything, first show, first marketing, last-minute strategy. And so this is the moment I will learn humility big time. We will organize last-minute flash mobs with the cast in Miami Beach. I will also distribute flyers, as you can see in Chicago on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, because we chose St. Patrick's Day thinking it will be full of people, but it's full of drunken people, not necessarily fine with the Just Dance. And so a few days before the show starts, we're putting some fire, and just the day before, I'm with more than 30 people on the road, cast and crew and people from my team, and I need to show them that I have faith in the project and I support it, and I'm strong. But then I go to my room and I cry myself at sleep. I'm so nervous and I wonder how things will go. And so the first day arrives, people come, and they will enter our world and interact with our dancers, dance again, dance and throw balloons, and have fun. And thanks to the shows, we learned first that our core audience is not families with teenagers, but families with very young kids that cannot resist 90 minutes of show, so we shorten the show on the fly. We also see what is necessary versus what is not necessary to make a great show. But the last learning, which is not the least at all, it's meeting with the actual people and having so many stories to share. So first on the left, you have this young guy who came all the way from New Jersey to Miami because he's a huge fan of Just Dance. He's a bit autistic, and thanks to Just Dance, he feels better about himself. And so he could not miss the very first day of Just Dance Live. There is as well this bunch of young kids hugging me at the end of one show in Chicago, thanking me for having the best time of their lives and wishing me good luck for the rest of the tour. There is this family of 3 generations because the grandparents used Just Dance as a workout tool, and the daughter bought them the tickets, and she brought her own daughter. And so we can see all the generations together having fun in the room. And there is also this other story, I don't have picture, of a family who comes on a Thursday night in Chicago because they saw me on TV in the morning doing promotion for the show. They experience it, they love it, they come back on Sunday, the last day, and the mother tells me, it was so awesome that I had one cousin flew over from Mexico because she couldn't miss it and she had to leave it with her cousins because it's so awesome. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. And when Alkis, the creative director of Just Dance, comes to see one of the show, I let him have the experience. And at the end, we meet. And I can see that he has cried because he can see the real impact the virtual worlds he has created has on real people. At the end of the tour, I have to make a speech to the 30+ people who came with us on the tour. And I'm very emotional. I won't be able to finish my speech. It's too strong, because I've been through such an amazing and intense and rewarding journey that it's very, very hard to find the words. And I suddenly think about this quote from P.T. Barnum, the greatest entertainer. The noblest art is that of making others happy. Before the tour, for me, it was a theory. And after Just Dance Live, it has become a reality. And if I can leave you with 2 main learnings to have in mind all the day, it's first, when you lead a project, please have a strong inner conviction, because you will meet with so many challenges, so many hurdles, so many closed doors, that it will be very, very, very easy to give up. And the second one is that to launch a product, of course, you need strategy, you need data, you need theory, you need projections. But the day that all of that becomes real is when you meet with your consumers. You observe them and you dance with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hinde.